Blissey. We mentioned
Yeah.
Blissey. So the next part of the episode is going to be a top 10, and I'm going to say top 10, my top 10. Top 10 decks for NAIC.
NAIC.
NAIC. I don't know why I was getting that wrong. I don't know why. But yeah, so we mentioned Blissey. Now, we ran through before we hopped on the call. We ran through this top 10, and then my number 10 was Gramble, but then I was immediately shot down and was demanded to change that with Blissey. So talk to me, Miles. Why did you make me take Gramble off for Blissey?
It wasn't me that said that first, if you remember.
Andrew, why did you make me take Gramble off for Blissey?
Blissey is a deck. I know it's reliant on coin flips, and I know it's got chances of doing 0 damage a turn and stuff like that. But at the same time, it has chances of doing massive damage a turn. You know, you can get 5 energies on a Blissey, you can flip 5 heads, you can knock out a tag team GX in 1 turn, and the deck doesn't have an auto loss apart from flipping tails.
Yep.
You know, no matter what you sit down, you go, right, I'm going to give myself the best chance to take the knockouts that I need. All they're going to do, they're taking 1 prize a turn. You just keep swinging and hoping, and it's got a chance against absolutely anything, really.
Yeah, that is fair. No,
yeah, I mean, sorry, come on, if you want to finish.
Oh no, you carry on.
Because I was going to say, Blissey was actually my first deck in this format once Unbroken Bonds came out. So I played it a little bit in the Lost Thunder, so with the Malamar DCE side.
And how did it go for you? Because there's a story I'm going to tell in a minute.
Back then, with the Malamar and DCE, it wasn't fast enough. It couldn't, because it was so reliant on multiple stage ones rather than just itself.
Yeah.
And then the extra supporters for the draw. And it was a very GX heavy format with Blacephalon, Ultra Malamar. You needed more than 3 energy on it in a turn, and it was very rare to get more than 3 energy on it. Even to get 4, and then being able to flip 3 out of 4 heads, maybe 3 out of 5. It's difficult even with Victini.
Mm-hmm.
So then going into this format using the Welder, I remember seeing a list from Japan which did quite well and tweaking that a little bit. So with the Welder, the triple acceleration, as Andrew said, and the Wishful Baton, you can get 5 energy on a turn, and soon you could be after a Wishful Baton, you could be sitting with a Blissey with 8 energies on it. And whenever you build a new deck, you look at how you can maximize that luck. How can you maximize that consistency? And with Blissey's only auto loss being those coin flips, you maximize that consistency by just having more coin flips. Once you had a Blissey side there with 6 energy, you're gonna if you've read the article, it's been up on Poker Beach and looking at the math, which I did very carefully before I decided to play it at a cup. It is quite high percentages to get those knockout on tag teams. So you could be 3 prizes down before even taking your first prize against a tag team, and you can still win in 2 turns.
That is true, to be fair. Because the reason why I'm so against Blissey, because like yourself, I took it to a cup. I took it to a cup with Malamar. Did awful. I remember, I think was it round 5. I think I was playing against a junior or something, and it was like 1 prize a pop. I needed to hit 2 heads out of 5. Missed it. Everyone's watching at this point because Blissey was forces long games, right? So everyone's watching. I'm like, look at this. Like, here we go, guys. Yeah, I need 2 or 5. Oh, that's a tail. Oh, that's also a tail to grind. Like, Blissey, don't do this. Oh, it's another tail. Anyway, but then the next time I did win, but I was just scarred after that. Like, so I'm never touching it again. But with the triple acceleration, all that, would you say it's actually over the top now as a viable pick?
It's a pick. Because everyone was asking me in the team and my friends saying, are you going to take Blissey to Sweden? You better not be. And I'm like, it's a fun deck. It's great if you're on a budget and you're going to a challenge or even a cup locally, and you haven't got those, like, you haven't got the money for the records, the Picaroms, all the staples that are there. And if it's a single prize attacking deck which has its acceleration there, has the Victini to help you, and it can compete with the current meta with the tag teams. It can compete with the prize trade well, even against single prize attackers like Zapdos. They need to have a few electric powers just to knock one out.
Because it's got 160. That's such an underrated. I remember I played with Malamar. I was like 160. I was like, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. So with the 160, tag teams like Gardevoir can knock it out. Zoroark can't knock it out in one hit.
Needs a damage modifier, which is jokes.
Yeah. Exactly. So. A lot of things like that, and obviously, at first I built it with the Jirachi, and you could abuse the Jirachi with the with its
Oh, the
Oh, so
ability
still
on
with-
the.
yeah.
Ability, of course.
So it
you
goes
do.
to sleep.
Whoa,
Yeah, so you can attach a triple acceleration onto your Blissey, and then you could use a welder to attach one energy to the Jirachi, and then use it. You heal the sleep with happiness supplement, and then retreat.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people is when I did play, a lot of people were like, oh yeah, I didn't realize that. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. The field blow away the
Wow.
escape rope, and I'm like, there's nothing. But then I eventually ditched the Jirachi version and played with one that was built a list which was very similar to Baby Blacephalon.
Yeah.
So it ran no Jirachi. It was just sort of the Blissey and the Victini.
And then
It's
away
fun.
we go. There we go.
Yeah. Other thing about Blissey, it's a non-GX stage 2.
Stage
it
1.
doesn't. Stage 1, sorry. It doesn't lose to stall. There's nothing that stops it attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, if you're worried about stall, play Blissey, flip some coins, eventually you'll get through it. Because they ain't taking prizes on you.
This is very true. This is very true. So moving on from Blissey then. Now, Dark Box. Now, this is a deck that I haven't really got a whole lot of knowledge on, in all honesty. But I feel as if I have to put it up there because it just won the last regionals, right? If I remember correctly. Was it or top something? Top something? Top 8?
It did top 8 in.
Was it the Origins one? I think, off the top of my head.
No. Are you talking about the Spiritomb?
Yeah, the Spiritomb one.
Yeah, it got. It was it Grant Manley got top 4 in Origins with it?
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, it might.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Grant, but someone.
It
got
was
top
Grant,
4,
yeah.
It was Grant. Yeah. I've got it up here. So, do any of us familiar with this Dark Box deck?
Yeah, I played against it on stream.
Oh, so you did, yeah, of course you did. Talk to me.
I say, Mark's version was a bit different, in that he had the Lucario Melmetal in there, and he was playing, with stall options and things like that.
Yeah.
But I do get where the deck is coming from.
Yeah.
Wherein, you're using a single prize attacker that it does take a couple turns to set itself up because it needs that chance to get the damage built up on it. But you start getting bit damage counters on itself, and you get a hustle belt on there, and you're hitting for ridiculous numbers for one energy attachment. And you're two-shotting 3 prize tag teams.
Yeah.
Whereas they're going, cool, there's a single prize off a little Spiritomb, and they go, well, there's another Spiritomb, and this one's going to knock you out.
Yeah.
And the price trade in that sense is so good for Spiritomb.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
And then if you're against single prize attacker decks, if you can have Black Market stick for a couple of turns, then that's where you catch up the price trade there, isn't it?
Yeah, there's that too. Obviously, it has that going for it. But then, obviously, it has it's got a good Zapdos matchup because of the Umbreon, which for one energy one-shots it, and obviously you've still got Little Eevee with Energy Evolution to search him out.
Yeah.
So you've got a good matchup there potentially again with the Black Markets. If you can say to Zapdos, but you're not taking a prize this turn no matter what, then you're ahead in the prize trade in a huge, a hugely profitable situation. And also not a Zoroark, which will never go away until it isn't allowed in the building anymore. You've got Honchkrow GX.
Yeah.
You just plop a Honchkrow out and you go, can't play the game, mate.
And again with Weezing as well.
Yeah.
Weezing as well.
Yeah.
So anything DC reliant or 3C reliant, you're just kind of going, you can't play the game, mate.
And it'll slow down the Zapdos build, which uses rainbow energies as well.
About to say, it makes a lot more pressure on their lightning.
Miles.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, you're not putting that out against the Zapdos, but it's not Zapdos doesn't hit for weakness. I keep forgetting this.
Yeah.
It's not too terrible in that situation. I still probably wouldn't advise going with Honchkrow in that matchup, but I can see that.
Well, if you get Black Market to stick Honchkrow active, they can't put down the Thunder Mountain or the Viridian to get away because it stops stadiums around.
Oh wow, that's actually true. Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. Oh, hello. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, we're back. Are we back? Hello. Yeah.
Sorry, what we do?
Yeah. We went a bit. I couldn't actually cut out. What did you just say for the last 10 seconds? It just cut out on my side.
So same with the Honchkrow GX, because it stops the opponent playing stadiums down. You can put the Black Market down, and it essentially becomes a single prize attacker.
Ooh.
Because the Zapdos player can't put down the Thunder Mountain or Viridian Forest to counter it.
That's a bit ridiculous.
They'd be able to, the only way that could go is with the new Marshadow. If you play the new Marshadow to get rid of it, but other than that, it's your single prize attacker.
The only things I'd say with the Dark Box deck are that it's so reliant on a setup. You have to get multiple Spiritombs turn one because you need a chance to get them set up. If you're against anything that has any form of spread, you're so reliant on your Mew as well.
Yeah.
And it's not overly aggressive straight away. So if people can get ahead, you don't have the time to build up your Spiritombs, and you're not doing the big damage. So it's one of those that's so reliant on. I say the way Grant played it was with 4 Elms, obviously to get multiple Spiritombs out. I've seen other builds that are like similar to the way Zoroark went with Lily and Nest Balls. You need those Spiritombs out, and you need them to stick for a couple of turns, just so you can build up and have a board state that threatens. So that's kind of the where it's at. You need almost. I can understand that's why Mark put in the Caramel Metal. It's something you can sit behind while you build up your Spiritombs, kind of thing. So.
It's actually a low-key good little attack when you Spirit Tomb, in all honesty. I remember when I've seen the list pop up, I was like, how much damage am I doing? 3, 6, 9, hustle battle. Whoa, okay, that is adding up, Jesus.
Oh yeah, big damage.
It's getting there quick. Yeah, like you said, 2-shot in tag team, or a little one prizer, that's just strong.
It's dirty is what it is.
No way around it. Just like, he's like, what was it, Vengeful Cry for 160? You're like, 160? What? Bloody hell, fair enough, yeah, okay. Hey, there we go.
That's mine.
I've just literally bought mine off Magic Madhouse today. Yeah. So Dartbox, I haven't got a lot to add there, really, in honesty. When I've been free morning at work, I've just been like, yeah, that does seem quite decent. So I'm gonna pick mine. Well, I picked mine up. I'm just waiting for him to get in the post. Moving on to number 8 then, Weezing. Now, Weezing was a deck that I hyped up a lot, played it, fell off the hype. I think, and a few people I know sort of universally fell off the hype, and it's had a little resurgence recently. Miles, what do we think about Weezing?
Well, I actually looked into Weezing a little bit myself. Looking at it, I think again it's very reliant on the setup. It's getting those turn 1 coughings down. It's a lot of times if you go first, you generally have so much of an upper hand because you can get the first turn detention gas. I think at the start when it was very tag team strong with Reshizard and Baby Blans, it had its that's when it had its height.
Yeah.
But now that like other evolutions decks like Zoroark and also like the Zygarde Silvally is creeping up again.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of Reshizards incorporating Arcanine. It's not as strong from the get go as it was. I think I'm back.
Oh, he's back. Sorry, what was the last thing you said? You're talking about Mix Herb. Wait, what you talking about? No, you're talking about Arcanine in Reshizard.
Yeah, so because there's a lot more evolutions hanging about, you couldn't go into a cup challenge thinking, oh, I'm going to be facing a lot of big basics. For example, at the start of the season, when it was a lot of basics, trying to think something where you had, if going first you had the upper hand.
Yeah.
The detention gas, whereas now it's a bit more varied. You can't go into a tournament expecting big basic decks every round.
Yeah, I feel that Weezing is, even if you are sit there playing a deck that's majority basics and whatnot, you can still play around Weezing. Yeah. Their damage output is based on what Pokemon you put down and how many Pokemon you put down. And then, of course, there's things like Stealthy Hood or an option just to completely prevent the mid-turn damage.
Yeah.
Decks are playing Ace of Roller still, Max Potion, and Mixed Herbs is obviously just starting as well. So Weezing is, you can be the best player in the world playing Weezing. And if your opponent knows how to play against it, you've automatically got very little chance of winning, kind of thing. Saying that, though, we were just talking about Zapdos having that target on its back. Yeah. Something that Zapdos struggles with is Weezing. If Weezing can keep its stream of Weezings going, then Zapdos really, really struggles with it, because it's all basics with not a lot of HP as well. Yeah. So I think we could see a resurgence of Weezing in NAIC simply because of the target that Zapdos has on it.
Yeah. I think the one thing it's fallen through the gutters a little bit is the text that you put in, as you said, like the Max Potions, the Ace Rollers. His decks are running that anyway. Like Charizard players are starting to put the Max Potions into, so things can't two-shot it against Zapdos. So you're taking against other decks, and you're covering off Weezing at the same time. Yeah. So it's not something where I'm going to catch a few people out, because if they haven't teched for it, you don't need to, because you already have. Yeah. But yeah, like Andrew's, it's with Zapdos having a target on its back, it might see a little spike again.
Fair shout. Yeah, I do think about it as an insane Zapdos, isn't it? Oof.
Oh yeah, it's mad.
Like, how many jabs she's got down, mate? Oof, that's not a lot, is it? Oh, just splattering sludge, have some of that, you geezer. Right, moving on then. Now, number 7. Now, this was it. I might be very biased to this deck I've put at number 7, just because it's the deck I've exclusively played all season, pretty much. But me and Jake Gray, we agree that it's really good right now, and if he was great at NAIC, he'd be playing it. And I'm talking about Ultra Malamar. Here we go. I don't know. Some people seem to think that Ultra Mali's dropped off, but he's got a decent tag teams, right? Universal good tag teams, and Giratina's very good at just killing random stuff. So I think it's well positioned, decently consistent. You know, it can be, can't be. You know, it's down the middle. Carl Blaker is meant to be on today, but forgot. He's been playing it quite a lot, and he also did well at this tournament. Where did he come? Was it top 32?
He was in
26.
top 32, yeah.
Top 32. Ultra Necrozma is just a big old beat stick that gives up 2 prizes, not 3, which can come up quite a lot in this meta. So, Andrew, talk to me. How do we feel about Mali?
I feel it's a very, very good shout. You know, it's got insane consistency. It never has energy issues.
Yep.
It's got 2 great attackers in Giratina. I mean, Giratina, 2 shots. Reshizard, if you get that chip from Distortion Door,
Yep.
you know, that's perfect numbers, and you're giving up, you know, 2 prizes, if that, from your Giratina, who just keeps coming back as well, might I add.
Yeah.
And then, as I say, in the, you know, other GX matchups, and the numbers that the chicken itself, Necrozma, can hit are great. You know, you've got your Choice Band if you're playing it. You've got your Beast Energy as well. The 2 energies, 2 psychic energies on top means that you're one-shotting your Zoroarks, all the GXs that they play. It's a consistent deck that hits numbers.
Yeah.
It just notoriously seems to, I don't know, it did drop off going into, like, completely drop off going into the Unbroken Bonds format.
Yeah.
And people have realized, oh, it does have these, you know, it is still a good deck. It is still consistent. It doesn't actually have these bad matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And it is picking up steam again. And I think, again, we'll see a higher percentage than we have done this weekend being played. I can't say I personally see it going all the way.
No. Yeah.
There's always something that'll happen. You know, you'll have turns where you only see 1 AK turn 1 and it goes mid out and knocked down. Your setup's then absolutely gone.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, best 2 out of 3, you'd think you're getting at least 2 NK out in 2 games. So, you know, you're always going to have that chance, and just numbers. It hits great numbers. So, I do rate it, but again, I say maybe not if you're looking to win. Maybe it's one of those ones where you're going and you're wanting points, kind of thing.
Yeah. Miles, anything to add there on Mali?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure because I dropped off at the start of when Andrew spoke. So if I repeat anything, I'm sorry. But I think it's the idea is something so important at the moment is set up. Obviously, that's why we played the 2 Kiawe, 2 Lele, and our Reshizar build. It's similar with Malamar, Ultra Mali. It discards the resources it needs to discard is what it can get back. It's setting itself up with like Mysterious Treasure discard and your Giratina discard and your Psychic Energy in order to get more resources. You're only sort of accelerating that consistency there.
Yeah.
And then obviously have the disruption. Marshadow is played more than ever now, let loose, waiting for the, you know, before it gets rotated. You know, some even seen going back up to 2 in a deck. People, if you Marshadow them and they have to Marshadow you back, and they've got drives down set up, you suddenly got a lot of 70 HP Pokemon down, which Giratina can set up the Sky Scorching Light for. I mean, as much as you know you're playing against Ultra Malamar, and you don't want to play it down, sometimes you have to, and then you suddenly have to be 2 prizes ahead in the race. So I think it can, if your opponent has a particularly bad setup and they need to use those Pokemon, then it puts you at an advantage there. It's what it can use for its resources to get consistency and stuff. Again, it's there.
Yeah, I agree. I love me a bit of Mali. My hot text, if anyone's prepared Mali and you want some hot text, listen
I
to
actually
me.
took my Ultra Mali deck core to Sweden with me just in case.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's always the only deck I've been playing. I think in this tag team meta, I love me a bit of Gengar. Gengar puts the fist in to Charizards. I absolutely love it. Make them draw up with their Horror House. If they get 3 energy down, they can only do 200. They can't one-shot you. Take 3 prizes back. Have some of that with the old Poltergeist. And what was the other one? Oh, if you want to be super spicy, get that Wondrous Labyrinth in there. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Oh yeah, take 3 prizes, have that in there. So now you need 5 energy for that right there. Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, I'm a fan of Mali. couldn't really put it much higher. If it was up to, I heard number 1, but I think 7. That's about right. Like I said, 'cause it has still got some issues. Now, number 6, I've got stall. Now, earlier a few weeks ago, I had stall like up there, like a top 3, top 4 deck. Now, I think it hasn't really been getting. Well, I did get some good results this weekend, to be fair, which is why I've pumped it back up. But talk to me, Andrew, about stall.
I mean, it is what it is. If you can stop your opponent playing the game, then you've got a good chance of winning, which is all stall does, obviously, isn't it? I say it's interesting that stall's gone the way of playing like counter energies and things like that.
Yeah.
So that it is taking knockouts and taking prizes, and sometimes they take, they win games by taking all their prizes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think the same way. So while it obviously has these great options to stall any deck, it's a hit individual matchup. You all right?
Yeah, it's just gone a bit weird there. I've lost your video. If you could just repeat a little bit of what you said there about stall. Yeah, what was it? We heard the bit about you how they're attacking. That was it. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, so obviously they've changed their ways. They are using energy, taking prizes and things like that. So they have extra outs these days, but it's just there's so many different good decks out there.
Yeah.
Stall has to tech for too many different things at once, and they it's kind of that situation where if you don't get the exact things you need out for that matchup, then you can lose so quickly.
Yeah.
If you go Stevens and they go let loose, and you're like, I haven't got any of the stuff that I need, you can just instantly lose. So it is one of those things. I feel like you need to have a bit of good fortune at the start of the game to get yourself set up and into it. But if you get that set up and the things that you need for whatever matchup, then it becomes almost impossible to lose because you just roll them out of the only things that they have to take out your odd little techs.
Yeah.
It's definitely not an easy deck to play either, because of this whole resource management, the way you have to build it for lots of different things, and that playing it knowing it's almost like you're not playing the game, you're playing solitaire. They go, right, this is what you're up against, and you go, right, I need this, and then need that, and it's just a kind of case of going through the motions every game, to just kind of, it knows how to beat each matchup, and you just have to do it. There's not a lot of reactions and things like that. You just sit and you play your deck.
That sounds about right. Anything to add there, Miles? I completely agree, by the way. That was pretty good like that.
Yeah, I think stall is still very good. I agree. It's sort of had to spring too many arms to try and counter different things Andrew said, which I agree with. Also, like I say, it takes a lot of skill to play. I think it takes skill to play against, but now that it's having to sort of be a bit more varied in terms of its counters, it's making it easier for other people to learn how to play against it.
Yeah.
And with the options like things like Welder to be able to put multiple energies down on a turn, people are figuring out better ways to play against, for example, not benching as many Pokemon, so they don't have the counter catcher options. I mean, I used to play sort of the Sylveon mill back in sort of Team Flareground, Team Rocket's Handiwork. I think it's not something you could be able to pick up now and go, okay, I'm going to go to stall. You need to be ready. You need to have the stamina. I mean, if you're going to be playing, 9 rounds, you're going to be playing 9 1-hour rounds without a break, no food, no like toilet breaks or anything. You've got to have that patience. You've got to have that stamina for that marathon that's to come.
Yeah, and it's not the sort of thing you want to pick up. I heard Mill's all right. Let's play this. You've never played it before, especially back in the day. Cause I played like Wishy Washy Walls back for Leipzig, I think it was. And back then, cause you didn't have your Stevens or you didn't have your Lugias to ping something away quick. It was very just play the cards you drew at that time. But now, like you said, cause Mill has to do X plan against this or this plan against Zora, this plan against. You can't really, like I said, you can't just play out that. You have to know exactly what to do, which is why I think you see the repeated people do well with it, like your Sanders or your Benjamin Rabiottis from Team Odyssey. Like those sort of mill players, I think they will continue to do well, but it's not the sort of deck you can just pick up. But all right, let's stall some people out for 9 rounds. Like, it's not that. It's not that kind of thing. No.
Are we with stall? Are we including the Shedinja builds?
Yeah, I'll put them both at 6. To be fair,
yeah.
I think, in my opinion, everything that we've just said sort of applies but a bit more polarizing to the Shedinja one, because that's
Oh,
even
yeah.
more like you have to really know what you're doing against that. Like,
Yeah.
But Shedinja, I think there's, decks are playing maybe one field blower at the minute.
Yep.
There's very few playing multiple. So if you know how to play Shedinja, and if you can put yourself through that for a day, maybe two, I think if you're good enough, you've got a good chance of doing very well with Shedinja. But you'll be brain dead by the end of it. Is it worth it?
That'd be a long 9 hours, right?
Well, yeah, it'll be massive. But I think just it's one of those that maybe it'll sneak under and someone will do very, very well with it.
Yeah. Anything to add there on the Shedinja one, Miles?
No, like I say, it's both Stall and Shedinja. Someone will do very well with both those decks because that's what they've played. They understand the matchup. I think you can sort of mix and match. If you're good with one Stall deck, you can go to another one because it's a similar sort of engine in terms of getting what you need depending on the matchup. Again, I think once you learn how to counter it, so if you were to play against one Stall and then play against another one later on in the day, you'd have a much better chance because you sort of, I realised where I used my Field Blower at the wrong time, I used my Guzma at the wrong time. But if you're playing one Field Blower and a lot of decks are playing 3 Guzma, there's 4 prizes right there. And if you manage to take 2 from during setup while they're trying to set up, then there's your 6. I think it's sort of the balance there.
Yeah, that's what I say with Storder is the ultimate dancing. If you make a mistake, let's say you know your game plan against Stall, but you get a bit aggressive one turn, you reach and you mess up. That's it. Stall's got you then. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. You've had your chance and you
can't get greedy.
So you can't get greedy. Yeah, that's what I would say about Stall. So if you play against it, fellas, and you're listening, don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Stick to the game plan.
And take 2 Field Blowers with you as well. If you're not playing Stall, play 2 Field Blowers.
Yeah, that's it. And Field Blower on a little bit of a side note. It's an insane card right now, knocking off boards, stadiums that aren't prisms, obviously. Yeah, your Shedinjas. Yeah, good card. Spell tags against your Weezens as well. Yep. All that sort of stuff. So yeah, Field Blower. It rotates right, Field Blower, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a shame. So play them while you can.
Yeah, definitely do.
Right. So, hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Much appreciated. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I try and put out as much stuff here as I can. Full deck profiles plus games, topic conversational pieces regarding anything in the TCG. Check out my Twitter, check out my Facebook. That's where I get most of the updates, sort of see what's going on behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Also check out the SoundCloud for the full bi-weekly podcast. If you're interested, if you like the conversational pieces, go check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and I hope you have a good day.